What's up, jammies? Welcome back to another episode of Ricky's Ram Jam, presented by Barefoot Wine. The Rams lost in overtime to the Lions on Sunday Night Football, 26-20, but there is so much to be excited about. Cooper Kupp had a night. That toe drag, though, oh my gosh, it was playing over and over again like little sugar plum fairies in my brain. We saw vintage 9 and dime. Twitter was going nuts. It was super fun to be a part of it. Jared Verse recorded his first sack. John Johnson had an insane interception. Kyren Williams was a bowling ball wrecking through the defense. So a lot to be excited about, and I'm looking forward to week 2. Coming up on today's show, Dan Hanzus and Marc Sessler from Underdogs Fantasy. Heed the Call podcast will be joining me, but first, the coin toss. Okay, first and foremost, jammies, you nailed it with the comments last week. I really thought Cooper Kupp scoring 2 TDs was going to hit in overtime if the Rams got the ball. So close. Okay, so I think, here's the coin toss for week 2. What's more likely? Jared Verse gets a sack versus Kyler Murray, or Kyren Williams rushes for over 100 yards. Okay, so comment what you think is going to happen. Jared Verse getting a sack, or Kyren going over 100 yards. Okay, let's crack open the Barefoot Wine because 2 of my dear friends are here. Welcome in Dan and Mark from Heed the Call, the Heed the Call podcast. What is up, boys?
Ricky, what is happening?
This is the best thing ever to happen to me because I'm in the host chair. Dan's panicking a little bit. Mark is in a full, tuxedo at this point. No, I'm not sure what's going on here.
Well, hold on. Can I just explain? This also sounds absurd, but we did a television appearance with Rich Eisen, which, it just sounds like you sound like a terrible person. But I just got home and I'm wearing the same clothing I was wearing on the show. So
classic move. It's like Mark's like, I look hot with my jacket on, so I'm gonna leave it on. I mean, I wore a jacket for that appearance too, but you just pop it off. But Mark's looking to take center stage, and that's cool. Give him the moment.
Hold on. Incorrect, because the studio is 4 minutes from where Dan lives, and about an hour and 4 minutes from where I live. So Dan has gone and had lunch, and he's probably.
I took a nap actually.
Yeah, he took a nap, fed his dog, walked around lush lawns.
What does that have to do with the jacket still being on, though?
I literally got to my apartment 3 minutes before this show began.
You have a shirt on underneath, right? You don't.
Do I have any allies? Do I have any allies? I'm here to simply provide you content.
Ricky, you know what it is.
Content.
Ricky, you know what it is?
What?
And we're gonna get to the Rams Mondo pit stains on Sessler. They're
totally. He can't.
It's a white shirt. It's a white shirt.
But it's so good to see you. Okay, Dan, I'll start with you. The Rams lose a tough one in OT to the Lions, right? It seemed like they were doomed, but they fought back super hard and almost came out with the win. What did you like about the resolve they showed in the face of adversity?
I hated that Puka goes out with the injury, and I like what their move here is. Let's get him on the IR. That's an injury that's been hanging around a little bit. Let's get him clear because this is a team that wants to be playing at the end of January. So smart move. The positive that came out of that was, there's Cooper Kupp, the superstar again, and to be targeted 21 times in that game, and to see Sean McVay using all of his motion to get Cooper Kupp open, and just see the Stafford Kupp connection again working at a high level. Just a lot of fun from that perspective, and to hang tough in that environment in Detroit when everyone just expects the Lions to steamroll. I thought there were a lot of positives to take out of the game for the Rams.
There are a ton of injuries along the O-line as well, and the wide receiver room. Puka is, like you just said, is really tough to replace, but seeing Coop look like old Coop again, and then there was a crazy opportunity for Tyler Johnson with that insane cut on a dime, and just to see these guys, and Jordan Whittington got in the end zone and ended up getting called back, but he was a standout in the preseason as well. Mark, you talked about on your flagship show weekly, you guys are recapping every game, and of course I tuned in to hear for just this part. That's the only part I listened to, was the Rams Lions recap, and you talked about that incredible Stafford insane throw, right? So does it matter who he's throwing to at this point?
Well, I think it matters. It obviously matters. Like Puka.
Okay, that was like tongue in cheek, obviously.
Sure, like Puka's like a revelation. So like, but you know what I
Big
like
jacket
about the Rams?
energy with that answer.
Yeah,
Sure,
he's like, actually, it does matter. Like, no, I'm trying to like hype, like it, like Stafford could throw to anyone.
We're
Like,
right
he
back
could
in the old podcast studio.
He could
aren't we,
put
with all
you
this
out
nonsense?
there, and you would get a catch, is what I'm saying.
I'd get a catch. I mean, probably 2 or 3. Like I mean, I can, I'm athletic to some degree, but like I think it's interesting. Like Tyler Johnson was like someone that Tom Brady was talking up back when they were teammates in Tampa Bay. It was hot and cold with him for sure, but like he really stepped in and played well. And I agree with Jordan Whittington as well. I think Matthew Stafford, I don't know what it is. I was trying to figure out like what's going on with Matthew Stafford, because in the last couple of years, he's unlaced some of the best throws we've seen. And like, he just seems to be playing with a level of confidence. That one throw that I talked about on the show where he's under massive duress, there's heat in his face. He can't even see. And yet he seems to whip the ball across his body and just know where the receiver is going to be. And that, to me, that's good coaching, because I watched a lot of bad football too. And so did Dan this weekend, where like teams seemed disorganized. It seemed like the 5th week of preseason. A lot of these Rams players didn't even play in the preseason. Almost none of them did. Like to pull that off in week 1 spoke to me about the fact that like, yes, they can survive what's going on with Puka, but like Matthew Stafford, like you're going to get 2 or 3 throws a game. Like you say, what's positive about the Rams? Like Matthew Stafford to me seems younger, fresher. I think it's like you move to LA, you get you're from Detroit to LA, you get hotter, you get tanner. His beard looks great, his hair looks great, and he's unleashing these throws that are just incredible. So I think like even though it was a loss, this is a team that can compete with the NFC on any level.
I think the Lions head coach Dan Campbell after the game said about Matthew Stafford, he's like, it's almost like you don't want to hit him, because when you do, he plays better. He is just like the toughest quarterback ever. You just alluded to it, Dan. We'll talk quickly about this defense. It was a really, really young defense last year. And then obviously Aaron Donald is now gone. Ernest Jones is now gone. Rookie Jared Verse got his first career sack. Byron Young starting right where he left off. How much of an impact can this young, hungry defense have this year?
I trust the coaching staff to develop these players, and Aaron Donald is a guy. He's one of one. He's first ballot Hall of Famer, and so it's not going to be overnight. But what you're looking for, like a guy like Kobe Turner, who had a great rookie season. Certain guys to take the next step and become the guys. Verse obviously was somebody that I think the Rams were thrilled to get him in the draft where they got him, and he has to develop quickly. I think that almost is what it's going to come down to for this team, because the NFC obviously is very very competitive, and the Lions are, as an example, are a team that's going to be very difficult to deal with. I watched my team get dismantled by the 49ers on Monday Night Football. They're not going away. The Cowboys put Mark's team on notice. That's another NFC potential superpower. The Eagles could be coming on the way back. There's no shortage of Super Bowl contenders, and the Rams' ability to hang really hinges on this defense growing up faster than some people might expect. I just don't put it past this coaching staff, because they really do have an eye for talent, and there is talent on this roster.
Yeah, I completely agree. It's been really cool to see how this team has like come together, like you said, and grow up kind of fast, which has been great. You watch these young guys kind of step up to even these rookies from last year, how they're stepping up this year as well. You mentioned it. I mean, Aaron Donald, one of one. He was an absolute nightmare for Kyler Murray. I believe he had 16 career sacks versus Arizona, the most versus any team. So the Rams head to the desert to take on the Cardinals this weekend.
Can I ask a question, Ricky?
Yeah.
Aaron Donald, was he ever a guest on Ricky's Ram Jam?
He wasn't. He was too, kind of taken aback by like how fit and muscular I am. Right. He didn't want to be next to me in one screen.
You're dangerous, and that's understandable too. Like that,
right.
There's an edge to you that maybe even someone as powerful and striking as an Aaron Donald, he was intimidated to be on the program with.
I think the listener would understand that absolutely.
Yeah.
Like absolutely. They feel the same way, and they're surviving.
Meanwhile, Dan and Mark, we're Ram jamming.
Right. You guys are here. You guys know.
We're not afraid of
Aaron Donald's wife. Well, your physical. That goes without saying. take off the jacket.
Take
Aaron
it off,
Donald.
Mark.
Aaron Donald's wife's name is Erica as well. So one time I did like go to him and I was like, hey, like Erica, like your wife's Erica. And he was like, okay, cool. I was like, oh.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Thought it was funnier in my head, but
yeah,
he
hit you with
out.
the so type vibe.
He was like, yeah, what do you want me to do about it? I was like, okay,
not unfair.
My bad.
Not unfair.
My bad.
Yeah.
All right. How does this defense contain Kyler Murray and slow down this Cards offense this weekend? Mark, we can start with you.
You go do what you do on offense. Like, I have a ton of confidence in what the Rams can do to puncture Arizona offensively. And Kyler Murray, like, he's going to get his plays. Like, you got to live with it kind of. And like, I get part of it is like, don't let him break your spirit.
They did a pretty good job, the LA defense overall, with the Lions. Overtime was a little bit different, but that was, a very tired team at the end of the game, and it happens. But before that, they got the stops they needed. But you have a very different quarterback now. Jared Goff is maybe the ultimate pocket passer, whereas Kyler Murray, if you don't keep him contained, he can rip you up. So I'm sure that's a totally different schematic game planning in terms of how they're preparing for that team. And if you watch the Week 1 Cardinals-Bills game, like if you watch the first 28 minutes of that game, you're going to assume the Rams are going to win by approximately or that the Cardinals will win by approximately 70 points. If you watch the last 32 minutes of the game, you'll assume that the Rams have absolutely no business losing this game. So it's like you don't know what you're going to get from this Cardinals team because it was too different. It was a Jekyll and Hyde performance, but the first half against the Bills was excellent, where the defense was shutting down Josh Allen and the offense was doing what it wants. Hopefully you don't get that version of the Cardinals because they seem to run very hot and at times very cold. Hopefully the Rams get the cold version of the Cardinals.
Yeah, I hope so too. And I think you talk about it, it's the longevity game and as well as this coaching. I mean, the Rams were down to the Lions, 17-3 at one point, and it's about just like that chipping away and knowing when you're right. I think offense to offense, Mark, like you said, I trust the Rams offense really, really strongly, especially with this matchup against the Arizona defense. However, I do think it's going to be coming down to some of those like crazy, like that John Johnson pick against the Lions when Goff would kind of throw it on a hip, which Kyler Murray has been known to do sometimes. So I think it'll kind of come down to a big offensive shootout, and then we'll see where it goes. So
Fun.
I know I'm excited for the game. It'll be good. So you guys are the king of fun segments. That's what, if you look up king of fun segments, you guys come up. I don't know who was your producer for like 4 years that also came up with like
her
she
name
was
was
great.
Sydney, I believe. She's
girl.
Unbelievable.
That's getting edited out so fast. So fast. So I want to do something called Ram Jam Social Media Mania. Yeah, that's super creative, right? I figured we could throw out some bottled phrases or scenarios that would be perfect to clip off and post. So essentially, what is this? This is going to be the social media clip, essentially, if we're talking in speak. Okay, so I can throw off something first, and we can throw some out and just see where it goes, right?
Very nice.
Okay, so intense dramatic music, 14 receptions, 110 receiving yards, 1 receiving touchdown, 32nd career 100-yard receiving game. Cooper Kupp showed under the lights of Sunday Night Football that he still is that guy. What do you think?
I love that. I mean,
that was good, right?
That was tremendous. I got goosebumps.
It was sound. Yeah.
Like if you're scrolling on Twitter and you saw that clip, you would be like, "Oh my god!" Like Cooper Kupp is that guy.
If I was wearing a jacket, I'd have to take it off because it just got hot in here. You know what I mean?
Totally. Dan, why don't you give me one?
All right. Let's see. In the locker room, the voice like gravel, the leadership undeniable. Sean McVay, we soar on your golden wings. I don't know.
Yeah.
How about that?
That
was good.
That
inspired me. That inspired me.
That was wow. That was unbelievable. Mark, what kind of social media bites?
Well, hold on, because I also, I obviously didn't understand the assignment in terms of it needing to be like clipped. I came up with tweets, what I thought from Rams fans that were very into their team. So
okay,
I'll
cool.
read one of them.
Yeah.
Okay. This is from Kitties and Guns Forever. Like that's her handle. Okay.
Okay.
His handle, I believe. I moved into a cheap hotel with my cat. Dinner is whiskey and Cool Ranch Doritos. Lizzo blasting through the wall. On the television set, included with the price of the room, I am witnessing the Los Angeles Rams. Blue and yellow hues. This Stafford fellow has a powerful throwing limb, whipping a dart across his body with defensive heat in his face. He makes other QBs appear sus. The police are at the door now.
Whoa. Wow.
It's like a Rams fan. Like a Rams fan going through some stuff, but it's like he's enamored with, or he's learning about the Rams. He or she, we don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that what you're asking for?
I'm just seeing this text message now about the assignment that we had for this segment.
In fairness, I did text about it yesterday and today, but we all took it 3 different directions, which couldn't be more us, and I love it so much. Yeah, I was like aiming more for like, you know, the Rams are 7-0 at Arizona under McVay, like this sort of like pump up like social media bites. But I think
you wanted an analysis.
Sean McVay one. You didn't think that wasn't what you were looking for exactly?
No, it was the gravel voice. I knew instantly what you were talking about. Like it was perfect. It's time for the Ram Jam, where I ask my guests the same questions every week. Mark, describe your perfect day, G-rated, start to finish.
Start to finish. Well, I get up super
well, like
early
not in that much detail. Like once again, tongue in cheek. You know?
Careful.
I think actually like staying at a hotel and just like going to the pool and having some drinks, eating some food, like having no responsibility. Like I don't have to answer texts. I don't answer phone messages. I speak to no one other than the people that I want to speak with. That's it.
I love that. Dan, how about you?
Oh, you know, you wake up in the morning, you have a nice cup of coffee. Maybe I'll read a little bit of Rams.com content.
Love
right
that.
Off the bat. I pour through the archives of Ricky's Ram Jam. Then there will be the part of the day where I luxuriate with my family and just and run in the open fields with my 2 sons, and then I'll go pick up Mark's 2 sons, and then we run in the fields together. I go to the church, and then I do some missionary work for a while there. A nice 3-hour workout, protein shake, of course, a little more charity work, and then hit the rack at 7 p.m. Mark Wahlberg style.
Well, it sucks to go. I don't like going first in these extra. Like that was like a debate response. Like I have no response to that response. So
I mean, I think the point goes to Dan on that one.
Yeah.
Don't worry, Mark. I got your sons involved in my perfect day, so it's cool.
I could not have written, like, I swear we're reading off a script. Like, before you even open your mouth, Dan, I knew you were going there. Like, I literally could not be more perfect. Dan, which celebrity would you like to switch lives for one day, and why?
Oh, wow. That's a really good one. One celebrity. It'd be cool to be... Oh, so you're taking on everything about their life in this moment where they're at.
Yeah,
I'd like to see what it would probably be horrifying, but I'm curious. And then I'd also get to be a woman for a day. Taylor Swift.
Yes,
our
that's
girl.
The right answer. That is.
Yeah, I'd like to. What's going on there, and what is it like? Because she's under such an intense spotlight every second of her being, and it's like the people in my life, celebrities that have been the most famous. All tend to go crazy when they're this famous, like Michael Jackson, Kanye. But Taylor seems to have so far managed this. So put me in this this place, and at the very least, I get to go to like the U.S. Open and get to hang out with my tight end boyfriend, and that sounds great.
Awesome, Mark. How about you?
Well, then of course I'd be. I was thinking about this as Dan was.
Travis Kelce.
Yeah, I think I'd be Travis because then I get to find out, lots of things.
I'm going to make this switch happen on the same day.
Exactly. It's like, now what?
Yeah, so
I'd want to be Travis Kelce to find out if there are
Taylor
deep
actually
state
likes him.
Individuals telling me here's what's happening over the next 3 weeks with this relationship, or if it's real. If it's real, I'd like to experience what is one
real
of America's
love.
most America's most premier relationships, or if it's created by our intelligence agency. Like, how does that work if you're a tight end also going to practice? So one of the two.
If Taylor goes to SoFi Stadium as a guest of the Rams, do you get the chance to be a part of that, Ricky? Like, do you have enough juice to be a part of the Taylor Swift caravan in that case?
It would depend. It would depend kind of on my emotional state. I know Kevin Demoff has threatened me before with not being allowed into SoFi if she was there. So it will have to depend on kind of like where me and Kevin are at that moment in time.
All right.
Like if he feels like he could trust me in the building or if he needs to take me out,
I'd butter him up for the next, number of months.
Right. You never know when it's going to come. Yeah.
Although
absolutely.
what if that's the day that I'm Taylor Swift? That would kind of suck too. Like, what? Come on, of all the days.
You're like, hey, how about those Jets? I'm like, Taylor, what?
It's me like a Spirit Halloween blonde wig and terrifying makeup.
Oh my God, I would pay to see that. Iced coffee on a snowy day or a hot coffee in a heat wave?
Give me an iced coffee in a big spot.
Always.
I mean, I literally have never had an iced coffee. I wouldn't even know how to order it. So I'll take the hot coffee and then in a heat wave, find myself into
I'm like, yeah, he's like, just loves to sweat.
Oh, it's so wrong that he said hot coffee. Like, it's like, you know what? It's like, I would just go find a really wonderful and lush place to be inside of that has air conditioning while I drink my hot coffee with beautiful people, just beautiful people.
Okay.
So
I love that. Well, thank you guys so much for your incredible insight and
yes,
just answers. That was beautiful, and I do feel like the Jammies are excited for. No, I really am excited for this week 2 matchup. I think this is a get right game for the Rams, especially ahead of our home opener at SoFi when the Niners come to town. So I think it'll be a great game in the desert on Sunday. Check out the Heed the Call podcast 5 days a week on Underdog Fantasy. It is a great show, and I love these guys, and they preview every game. So I did actually listen to your Cardinals Bills recap because then it helped me prepare for this week. So if you're into football, then you should be into Heed the Call. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you, Ricky.
Thank you.
Love you.
There they go. I love those boys so much. And now I'm just really excited. Vibes are high going into week 2. That does it this week for Ricky's Ram Jam. Thanks for watching, and let's bring on week 2. You guys know what to do. Let's ram it.